Hi, Dennis Weiss. Welcome to our town. We're down at the Community Foundation of Dickinson County, who always hosts us kindly. Appreciate that. Elizabeth Weiss, the Executive Director here at this organization. Doug Smart, who's the executive something at Smart Insurance, I'm pretty darn sure. But anyway, we're not here to talk about me, you, or the Community Foundation. We're here to talk about Abilene Forward. What a name, what a name. Where does it come from, Mr. Smart?
Well, that's a good question. The organization got started with, there's about 4 different ways I've heard this organization got started.
Okay.
But I know a group of people who care, who wanted to volunteer their services and get things stirred up downtown, got together, and Elizabeth and myself and 2 or 3 other people had a little meeting in this very room, and somehow through that the term Abilene Forward came out. It was probably your idea, because you're the smartest one of the group.
I don't think I'm the smartest one. I'm going to give credit to the past. It was actually something that was printed on an old newspaper for the Reflector Chronicle, and it was encouraging about moving Abilene forward, and we saw that, and it was like, that's it.
So I call you guys the coalition of the willing. And the willingness to move forward. It's a choice, isn't it, Doug?
Absolutely.
In business or life, moving forward's always a choice.
Either way, way. And we've done a lot of non-moving in downtown Abilene, in my personal opinion, for the last 10 years. And I think it's time we take charge of that ourselves as business owners, building owners, and business leaders, and move us forward. We can't rely on somebody else to do it.
Your little coalition of leaders had about 100+ people in the depot here a few weeks ago to hear what you had to say. Extraordinary energy as a visitor watching was in that room, and I really feel that momentum is happening.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, Elizabeth did a wonderful job leading the meeting, first of all, and there were 100 business and building owners there. Some we were surprised to see, because you don't know who cares until something like that happens. Right. We were thrilled with the number of people. Yes. We were thrilled with the energy that came out of it. There were a few naysayers, well, what's somebody going to do for me? But there were also several people there that stood up and said, my business is doing very well because I'm doing this and this and this. And if you're waiting on somebody else to help your business, then you're not going to succeed. And that's the attitude we want. We want people to understand that they have to take charge of their own business, their own building, and we can together do a tremendous amount of improvement to help us become more maybe more welcoming to the average visitor that comes to downtown. That's what we're looking forward to. We want people to want to come downtown, to see where downtown is, and then to want to stay here when they get here.
So Elizabeth, you did stand up that night and spend a lot of time interacting with the public. Here's something I just heard from Doug that I heard you say that night, and that is that this is an effort to give you a chance, the people in the audience, a chance to make your business great, your building great. We're not here telling you what to do. We're here telling you we're willing to work with you to make it happen.
That's right. We as a small ad hoc group, we went around to all the businesses and the building owners in the historic downtown area, and we're starting with the historic, or what is the marked historic area, because we needed a starting point, quite frankly. So that was our starting point. So we went to them and we asked them and queried them, what do you need? What do you want? What would you like to see happen? And they came up with, there was 10 different consistent messages that we were getting. And when we had the meeting on April 29th, we posed it to the group that was there. Here are the things that were listed. Let's vote on the top 3. And so we did, and they're consistently saying we need signage, we need signage, we need signage. So Hank Royer has agreed to put on the north side of his building and the south side of his building a sign that a tasteful sign that is in the middle of being designed. We have a committee that's working very hard to come up with 3 different ideas for our next Monday meeting to vote on which sign they want. Obviously, Hank has the final say.
As
on
he
what,
should.
Absolutely.
As he
absolutely.
should.
And the second thing that, and this surprised me, because I didn't think this was going to make the top 3, but blade signs. Now they hang, perpendicular to a building.
Right. Building front, little
Yep,
sign.
little
Right.
decorative wrought iron metal.
Right.
Okay.
Maybe like this big square type.
Yep. So what we have done, trying again to work together to have our community come together. We have gone down and spoken to Chancey Smith, who blacksmiths down at Historic
Right.
Abilene, and with Judy Zimmer, spoke with her, who was the executive director down at the Historical Society, saying this is something that we'd like to do. What are the costs? Are you willing to do it? Then we want to partner with the Arts Council and the school and get the signs made, and they can be either hand painted, these signs, or if we come up with a better idea, maybe it's almost like a cling that could go on, so if a business is in transition or leaving, they could change it
Sure.
easily. And the last thing that was the number 3 was the empty storefronts. And that is a challenge. And it's hard when you're a visitor and you're coming in, or even if you're a member of the community, that you go by and you go, oh, it's an empty storefront with either brown paper or just empty. So we posed the question of, couldn't we get people together and they could go in and decorate these storefronts until they're filled with businesses. So we are. That's one of our things that we're working on, and because D-Day is coming up. So with the 75th anniversary
Right.
of D-Day, and Abilene is celebrating. We are partnering with the Eisenhower Presidential Library and Museum. They're going to print out some big
Sure.
pictures of Eisenhower. Doug has gone down to Last Chance Graphic, which is a local business here in Abilene, and has ordered a, I don't know, it's not corrugated, it's like the signs where you vote, to the
Sure.
yard signs. To have one of those printed so we can have it as a display, and
Right.
we'll get the town decorated for Eisenhower. And in addition to that, so I mean, everything's like coming together. It's the perfect storm here. And Home Automotive has also decided that they're in to make a contest of businesses that are decorating their
Windows.
patriotically
Sure.
for the D-Day, and there's a monetary reward. So people are coming together. People are willing to volunteer their time to put things together, and it's a great time to be involved in Abilene.
It sure looks and sounds like it. So I called you the Coalition of the Willing. The reason we have a camera here is we want to add to the number of the Coalition of the Willing. Because Abilene Forward and down, you said you're starting in an historic Abilene.
Right.
The night on the 29th, you made a very clear point. This is not where we're finishing.
That's right.
This is Abilene. This is Dickinson County.
Yes.
This is business community. This is the people who have linkage in this area. Business owner,
Yes.
building owner,
Yes.
resident
Yes.
that wants to move their community forward. This is your chance to help.
One of the things that we hear sometimes, Dennis, is that some people don't want Abilene to grow.
Okay.
They like Abilene the size it is. And you know what? I don't have a big problem with that, but our economy doesn't have to stay where it is.
Right.
Our economy can flourish compared to what it's doing now without having a lot of growth of people. If we have new people, that's wonderful too, but there's some people don't want that. I understand that, I respect that. But this is about getting the economy generating, which is going to improve everything. The reason we like the sign on Hank's building, I don't remember what the number is of people that go down 15.
185,000 to 200,000
Yeah.
visit Eisenhower
So if
every
there's
year.
200,000, what if we pulled 1%? What if 1% of those people that are going to Eisenhower Center turned and went down 3rd Street, one way or the other, where they go this way or that way, it doesn't matter, that historic direction is both ways, and they spent a little time and money in downtown Abilene. Can you imagine the difference that alone would make in our downtown area? And when that happens, that's going to stir up more business. It's going to cause more businesses to come, and they're going to spend more money. It's just going to be a groundswell is our hope. So
I thought it was real interesting that you listed your top 3. They're all about visibility. Your top 3, and even the others who were number 4 and 5 and 6 that were discussed, were about being visible.
Yeah.
As a business guy, visibility is everything. That's why we sell advertising, right?
Yeah.
But it said to me that this downtown community is finally facing what it will take to be better, and that is we must be visible. And so they have to know we're here, and a sign on Hank's building says turn on 3rd Street and you will find, and these signs that are perpendicular to the building you described, your hanging signs, say I'm here, and window clings and window decorations say we're happy you're here, and benches and matching trash cans as you go through the area says we know that it's nice to sit down and take a rest, and we're glad to provide that for you. And oh, by the way, we love a nice clean town, so here's a nice clean trash can to put your things in.
I had a wonderful conversation with my wife, Debbie, last night. She was on a custom harvest crew growing up, so she traveled through lots of small towns,
Right.
going all the way from Texas all the way up into Montana. And she said, when you came into one of the towns and there was like a fair coming up or a rodeo, all the signs in all the windows, the business windows were decorated, and you could always tell a town that cared and was a nice town to visit because the whole town had one focus. We're kind of trying to do that with the D-Day thing here. Now, let's all do that, and then, you know, whatever the next one might be, we can all communicate with our downtown organization here again and continue to do things like that to show we care.
So where are we going to get the We Like Ike sign I saw 4 or 5 of this morning?
Gosh, you can get those at the CVB. Julie Roller, who is the executive director of
Okay.
the CVB, is selling those for $10. We encourage everybody to go and get a I Like Ike sign and put it up in your home and in your business. Again, it's just showing a sense of community, a sense of pride in our community, and truly that's what Abilene Forward is. You know, Doug spoke about growth, and he's right. There are some people that don't want people growth,
Right.
or population growth, and so we're really staying away from that. We want healthy, and healthy is a vibrant downtown with retail, retail in you know the street level businesses or buildings, and then people living upstairs, and that will perpetuate on its own a more healthy, vibrant Abilene.
So healthy and vibrant includes replacement. So you're in the middle, and you are between 2 thorns here, which the camera can quickly tell that there's far likelier chance of Doug and I needing to be replaced anytime soon than it will be you. But all of us will need to be replaced in this community, even if we say no growth in population.
Right.
You have to have a plan to replace us, do you not?
Absolutely.
Both as
Absolutely.
people and as business people.
Yep. Yeah.
You know, part of the Abilene Forward, you know, as we met as a group and we're talking about, you know, how are we going to approach this? And part of that is education, and it's educating the business people who are consumed with their own business and trying to make it succeed, and the building owners that it's really on you. I mean, as a business, what makes your business so unique that if nothing else was there, people would still come to visit you? So part of that we have to do, and again, it's not Abilene's city managing. It's not their responsibility to save your building. It's their responsibility to make sure the roads are nice and the way into Abilene is presentable, and the crosswalks are
Clean water goes up, dirty water goes
Yes,
down, and
you know,
nobody's shooting each other in the streets.
That's right.
That's it.
And you know, we have heard, well, what's the city of Abilene going to do for my business? It's like, that's what we're trying to go. It's not their job to do that. It's our job to promote. It's our job to, you know, be cheerleaders and go, you know what, together we can do this together. And we don't need right now the city to come in and save the downtown. We as private citizens need to do that.
As we look forward through the lens of optimism, we have great things going on in downtown historic area. We have Rob Hammett, who bought Stu Etherington's building and is working furiously inside to turn that into something that he's going to make a big announcement on when he's ready, right? But it's going to be good because it's people oriented. There will be people who want to come to his business. So let's use Rob for an example. What would Rob's business be without this effort? Abilene Forward, versus what will Rob's business be with this effort? I would tell you as a business guy, if I have to bet on one, I want to bet on Abilene Forward and Rob's business.
Absolutely.
With every business owner making their property look nicer, with every business owner staying open longer on Wednesdays, Thursdays, Fridays, whatever your next list of things to do is. If that happens, we can have a much higher probability for a new business like Rob's opening to be very successful. And that's why it's a coalition of the willing. So if I keep my candle shop open on Friday night, an hour or two longer, whatever the case may be, or I have that sign, or I have that bench, that helps the guy across the street just as much as it helps me.
Part of that is you know, us communicating as a community and making sure that we have the same script, if you will. If somebody comes into my business, that I'm promoting the business across the street and urging people, have you visited? Have you visited? They have whatever. And it is, it's just, it's all of us partnering together to promote each other. And you know, part of the reason that we started with the historic downtown was because of possible grant monies that could be available outside of Abilene, state and federal grant monies that, you know, maybe you have a historic building and you don't have the means to update it, but there could be funding available. So those are also the things that, you know, that we're working on together to go forward.
If you finish doing business with somebody and they're leaving your office, it takes 2 seconds to say, where you heading next?
Right.
And they say, well, I don't know, I was thinking about maybe doing this. Stop by Amanda's and have a cup of coffee and one of her homemade cinnamon rolls, you know, or if it's lunch, stop by La Fiesta, or do you know we have the National Greyhound Hall of Fame in Abilene? You know, if you just make one little suggestion and make them feel welcome and invite them to stay, then I've had people stop for half an hour and chat about all the different things they didn't know you could do.
Gas stations are a great place to spread the good word. When you're filling up the gas, you look over and see that Michigan tag and you say, your first trip to Abilene? Yeah. What are you doing? Well, I came to see the Eisenhower Presidential Library. Do you know the other things that are going on in Abilene? My goodness. I wore my outfit again today because I am a walking advertisement for the National Cowboy Poetry Rodeo, first weekend in August, Wild Bill Hickok Rodeo, Central Kansas Free Fair. We have one of the largest conventions for a town of 6,500 every year in those events that we described. There's national championship trophies to be won or lost. There are points to be gained for world champion at the rodeo, and we get significant players every year. And our entire wide area community and 4-Hers and FFAers comes together to show their best and do their best. I couldn't want a better convention than that for Abilene. We have it every year. So I'm doing my part by, frankly, wearing my favorite stuff anyway, but still, I'm doing my part to tell you about it every time I see you.
And June 6th is the Eisenhower D-Day celebration.
Gonna be fantastic.
That's going to bring
week-long
June 1 through 7.
Yes, it's going to bring a lot of people to Abilene, and we want them to feel welcome.
Yes, and then we want them to come back in July when the library, the brand new state-of-the-art library, reopens.
Museum.
The museum, that's right, reopens. So, you know, we just had this past weekend, we're filming this on a Thursday, but this past weekend was the car show at Home Automotive, the Antique Fest that was going on downtown. We had tournaments, ball tournaments going on at the ball field. And I was talking to a business owner yesterday, stopped in and said, how was your Saturday? And she said, oh my word, I had so many people in here. It was wonderful. You know, Rotary did the fundraiser at RHV that they so graciously allow people to do. And we had printed out 250 coupons, and they had to print some more. So it was, again, people talking, saying just people downtown and having people here. Wouldn't it be great to do something maybe once a month like that? So people are talking, ideas are being generated, and Abilene forward.
There is excitement on the streets.
Okay, excitement on the streets. Dave had excitement when he held up two fingers about a minute and a half ago.
Sorry, David.
So we're down to the last little bit here. So I had Doug Smart here today, Elizabeth Weiss here today, the two of the leaders of the Coalition of the Willing to help Abilene move forward. But we really need you.
Yes.
And we need your brother, your cousin, and your 3 kids. We need everybody moving forward in some way. Your creativity is needed, your energy is needed, your vision of Abilene forward is needed. And gosh, we're putting their faces right here on camera, so you can find these two almost anywhere. All you have to do is say, I have an idea and I want to help.
And Monday night at the Civic Center at
6 o'clock.
6 o'clock, we have our next Abilene Forward community meeting.
We'll try to get that
So-
out there before this show even airs for you.
We hope everybody's there.
Okay, all right. My name is Dennis Weiss. I work for Eagle Communications, and I'm willing to move forward. How about you? Elizabeth Weiss, Doug Smart, thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming in. Thanks
Thank
for
you.
what you do to move Abilene forward. Have a great day.